Well, good morning, fellow student, world viewers, listeners. My name is Charles Motimensa. I'm an instructor, IT instructor, A plus, N plus, CCNA security, SharePoint, Exchange service, MCSE service, Microsoft certified system expert. I'm a computer forensics ethical hacker as well. And also, I teach private, I teach online. If any one of you at least like my videos and wants me to teach him or her privately, I'm in the process of helping the person to come out and be a great person in the near future. Because now IT is now encroaching into many professional in this world. So to become a network administrator, at least you must know something about IT, which is information technology. Technology is going on. But today I have with me on the table of discussion, which I've already named it Introduction to Vlan. Vlan is what times we call it virtual lands. So if something is virtual, then it means that you cannot see the thing, but you can see it without touching it. Our spirit, the soul in us, is virtual. That helps the physical to move around, up and down. Without the soul, the body cannot move. How much more the breath of life inside you? Can it make the soul also to help the physical to work? In the plain text of IT, I'm coming to explain what the VLANs means. And when you look on the screen, it said in this lesson, we will take a look at VLANs, in bracket virtual LANs, and I will explain what they are and why we need them. But first and foremost, let's see what we have on our screen. You can see that we have internet, which is the cloud, and we have a router, we have a switch, and this particular switch has connected to another 4 switch, which is a sub-switch under this one. Now, on the left side of the switch, we have management, we have help desk, we have finance and security, and all of them also is having another sub-switch beneath them, which is engineering under management, and human resource under help desk, and sales under finance, and research under security. We'll be sketching this one by using our packet tracer, which is this one. If you don't have a packet tracer, make sure that at least you can get one, install, and flow with me as I'm teaching you online. Let's go straight to our lesson. It's a look at this picture for a minute. When you look at this picture for a minute, it sells something in your mind. We have many departments, and every department has its own switch. Users are grouped physically together and are connected to their switch. What do you think of it? That is what is asking us because of the tag over there. Does this look like a good network design? If you are unsure, let me ask you some questions to think about. I got this particular search on the net, and it's good for me to at least explain to my viewers and also my listeners, those who are acquainted to this CCNA practice. And let's go straight. It said what happened when a computer connected to a research switch send a broadcast like an ARP request. ARP in another way is a protocol that stands for Address Resolution protocol. It also stands in as an address because one, they ask for a destination address of a PC. Then they can send a packet direct to that PC. Second, he said, what happens when the help desk switch fails? We have a research and we have a help desk. But those under the help desk, you can see them. Look at the help desk. What about if the help desk fails? Then it means that the entire network are going to be failed because all management, finance, security, and engineering, human resource, sales, and research are connected to help desk. So if the help desk switch fails, then the entire network is down. Will your users at the human resource switch have fast network connectivity? These are the questions they are asking you. I got this particular note from the net, from a particular renowned network that I always rely on. It's very good for the masterpiece of what the person brought out. How can we implement security in this network? Now let me explain to you why this is a bad network design. If any of our computers send a broadcast, what will our switches do? They flood it. This means that a single broadcast frame will be flooded on this entire network. This also happens when the switch hasn't learned about a certain MAC address. The frame will be flooded. And if they talk about the flooded, they are talking about the bandit and just what? Destroy it. And the MAC address that you see it here is embedded in our network card, as we call it, MAC. That is Media Access Control. It's a 48-bit, and I will show you later on. Let's say, for instance, if you press on Windows R, then you type CMD. You enter like this, and you type get Mac, and you enter. Let's wait for a while. Yes, look at this. Look at this. It said media disconnected. So this one that you are seeing is what we call the MAC address. So this particular MAC address will be added to an IP address. Then when the machine sends a message, it means it's coming from such a computer and the rest. If our help desk switch will fail, this means that users from human resource are isolated from the rest and unable to access other departments or the internet. This applies to other switches as well. Everyone has to go through the help desk, which in order to reach the internet, which means we are sharing bandwidth. Probably not a very good idea performance-wise. Check it well. I'm just showing it to you again. This is the internet. This is our router. This is our switch. Having another switch called help desk. And help desk is having another wing called management. And finance. And finance also is having a security. What about if the help desk fails? Then it will end up affecting the entire network. So that is what they are talking about. So it's not a good practice. Last but not least, what about security? We could implement port security and filter on MAC address, but that's not the very secure method since MAC address are very easy to spoof. Vlans are one way to solve our problems. One more question I would like to ask you to refresh your knowledge. How many broadcast domain do we have here? Let's check. How many broadcast domain do we have here? I think if you guessed it out, you will do me good. Come out with something solid, at least it can help you and I, and the class will be perfect, okay? How many broadcast domain do we have over here? Just a minute, then you tell me. Okay, you know it. What about broadcast domain? We didn't talk about this before, but I think you can answer it. If a computer from the cell switch will send a broadcast frame, we know that all other switches will forward it. Did you spot the router on top of the picture? What about it? Do you think a router will forward the broadcast frame? We'll also talk about it. Let's see how this one goes and see the perfections of it, how to create the VLANs. Okay. Now, VLAN's configuration on Cisco iOS Sage. In this lesson, I will show you how to configure the VLAN on Cisco Catalyst switches and how to assign interface to certain VLANs. Let's start with a simple network like this. So you can do a simple network like this, okay? Let's start with a simple example, H1 and H2, which we have H1 and H2 over here. And we are choosing a switch of what? 22950. Let me put this one aside and bring our testing in. So just click on this particular one. Like previous video that I brought, I showed you something like that, and I said you must have a packet tracer before following my videos and also coming out to do the practical here and there. It will help you and I, and the class will be perfect, and also the video watching also will be good for you. Click one PC over here and put it here. Click another PC, put it here. Then look for the switch. You click on this one. Then click this. Because this is switches. You click on it. Now it's telling us that we should use 2950. So that is, let's use 2960. Okay, but we don't have 2950 over here. We have 2950T, which is this one, 2950T. When you look at it, we have fast Ethernet, alright, but let's choose the 60. At least there is an enhancement of it. Okay, click this one, delete it, choose delete, so that you click this one back again. Now, click where the PC0 is, clear it and make it what? H1. Then do the same thing to this one, make it H2. You are using a PC, you are using a switch. Click on this one, then choose straight through cable. Connect to H1 and choose fast Ethernet. Connect, maybe you can choose this one, and that is a fast Ethernet FA0/1. Do the same thing to this guy, which is H2, and choose 2. So now we have exact what I showed you earlier on the screen. Now let's give them individual IP address, but before, let's give them IP address load. So click on this one, then click it. This doesn't mean that I'm giving IP address to the PCs. I'm just giving IP address load. That will tell you that is the IP address you're supposed to give to the PC. So 192.168.1.1 10/24. Remember, it's 24 bits. This is class C. 192.168.1.2/24 as well. So click this one back, click this back. Then everything is okay. Now let's go straight to the switch and see something inside. But before we can go to the switch, let's now do something. Bring another PC. Bring another PC. Let's say laptop. And let's name the laptop BF admin 1. Go to connection, then choose the console. Click here and choose the RS232. Then connect to the console. It's like you have a software, and that software you must install it on your PC. That is a software that will help you to connect to the switch. But what right now we are doing is just a software that helps us to just connect or double click on the switch. But on the field, you are not supposed to double click on any switch. You have to use a software. So either you have to use a software you can download from the internet, which is the PuTTY, or you can download from the internet, which you call the Tower10, and any other. There are some that you can buy, but those that you cannot buy. Now we are going to pass through this one, this BF, that is the laptop, to enter inside the switch. So you just double click on the laptop. Just click on the laptop. Then go straight to desktop. Then choose terminal. Click OK. Now we are inside the switch. We are inside the switch. We are inside the switch. Let me just put it here like this for you to see. We are inside the switch. Just enter. You see? It's the same thing. You can double click on this one, but it's not good. You can't double click on the physical device. You must pass through a third-party software before entering into the device. So make sure that. So now we have nothing. Just press EN, which is enable, enter. Then you set show Vlan. When you don't want to spell the entire words, just press the tab key to come. Just enter like this. Show Vlan. Show Vlan. Okay. Yes. Now all Vlan, all the ports are for Vlan 1. You can see that is Vlan 1. It's a default. Okay. It's a default. Why am I saying that? Now, the switch itself is having a VLAN, that is a virtual LAN, and all the ports, when I put the mouse on it, you see, from fast Ethernet 0/1 to gigabit Ethernet 0/2, they all fall under VLAN 1. So a time will come, we'll be separating the ports, and I'll be showing you how to go about it. Okay? It's very simple, don't worry. It's very simple. Now, let's go straight to our work. We'll not flash any other thing, but what we are going to do something which it means we are going to create two things, VLAN, two VLANs. We are going to create VLAN 50, and the name we will give it to it is, the name we'll give it to is what? Computers. Now, let's see something. This particular IP, we are going to create VLAN 50. This IP address, I'll be giving it to the PCs and see whether they can ping themselves. Okay, so let me go to each one. Let's enter 192.168.1.1. Perfect. Let's come to this one also. That is H2. 192.168.1.2. Now I'm standing on H2 to see whether I can ping H1. So I'll go to command prompt and type ping 192.168.1.1. Right now it's pinging. Right now it's pinging. You can see that it's pinging perfectly. Okay. Now, because H1 and H2 are on the same VLAN, look at something. They are on the same VLAN, which is VLAN 1. That is why they are pinging themselves. Now, I'll be moving them from VLAN 1 and put them on VLAN 50. And I will name that VLAN computers. So I will do that on the laptop. So on the laptop, all of us know what we have already done. So for us to do that, you have to go to configuration mode. Now we are on the privilege mode. So we type config, which is configure, or let me just put it in a small letter, config, and press the tab key so that you see the normal spelling. So config T, which is T in the short form. You can config T or configure terminal. Then press the is the full name of it. So you can see that now you switch into brackets, config, then the hash tag also there. Now let's give the switch name. So hosts name, then we can say that is what BF-SW1. We are giving a switch name like this, okay, which is we give the switch name BF-SW1. Fine, let's go on. Now we are going to create a VLAN called 50. So this is how we are supposed to do it. You said VLAN 50. When you enter, it changed to config-VLAN. So it's asking us, anytime you create a VLAN with a number, you must add a name to it. So we said, now let's just see something. Press on Shift and question tag. You see that we have name, which means that ASCII name of what? VLAN. ASCII name, VLAN. You see, so name is what we are going to type. So we say name space. What is that? Computer. We enter. It's computers, so let's make it computers. Sorry. Yes, computers. Now, I will type exit because I finished what I supposed to do. I finish. Now, I will type exit again. Then I will type WR, which means that I'm writing the configuration in memory. Then I will save it by typing copy run config startup, so that anytime I restart my switch, at least the configuration I've done so far will save into the VRAM. Okay, now if I said show, I can type only sh, show VLAN, and enter. I will see that computers are there and it's active, but we don't have any port associated with it. Can you see? No computers, no port associated with that. But on VLAN 1 is having all the port. That is where we have port 1 and port 2. So port 1 and port 2 are on VLAN 1. We are going to move port 1 and 2, which is we are going to move this one and we will put it here. Then when we move it, we will move it one after the other. Then we will see. So we will move port 1 and put it on 50. And we will go back and ping and see whether it will ping. Because right now port 1 and port 2, they are on VLAN 1. That is why they are pinging. So when we move port 1 and we put it on VLAN 50, you see the differences. Okay, so let's be. For us to do that, let's go straight to, like what I said, the config space T. We are in configuration. Now, enter inside VLAN 1. So for you to do that, you have to type int, which means you have to type interface, fast Ethernet, which means that I can type interface fast Ethernet 0/1. I can enter, but in a shorter form, I'll type int fa 0/1. It's the same thing. You can type the full words, or you can shorten it. When you enter, this tells you that you are inside a port of fa 0/1. Then you type switch port ? You can see that we have voice, access mode, negotiate here and there. So set access mode characteristics. So you say switch port mode. First, you type mode, then port mode, you say access. Okay. Then you bring the question tag again. When you see the CR, it means that it's what? Carrier. You enter. Now, you've set the port into a mode to access a different VLAN. So now, we are coming to make sure that we are now going to make sure that you put the port into the VLAN 50. So you said switch port access VLAN 50. Now, this has changed to orange. Orange means it's listening to the VLAN that has been changed on that particular port. When it responds, it will turn to green. How wonderful it is. Now we've changed it. We've changed from VLAN 1 now. So fast Ethernet 0/1 is no more on VLAN 1, but rather it's on VLAN 50. Let's go and see whether truly it can work. Now, we were once standing on H2 to ping, if you can remember, H2 to ping H1. Now press the up arrow key, then enter. Have you seen? It's delaying. This tells you that VLAN 2, that is port 2, is still on VLAN 1, and port 1 has been moved from VLAN 1 to VLAN 50. So I want you at least to see whether you can move VLAN 2 and put it on VLAN 50. Move VLAN 2 and put it on VLAN 50. It will help us all. So this is how we normally use to separate the network. Okay? Now, let's go back to the switch. Type exit again. Type WR, which means you are writing the configuration. You are building the configuration. So type show VLAN. Now let me just expand this more, and you can see that now VLAN 1, which once was on VLAN port 1, which once was on VLAN 1, has now been moved to 50. That is why we end up getting that request time out, because FA0/2 is still on VLAN 1. You can see it's still on VLAN 1. Look, it's still on VLAN 1. It's still on VLAN 1. Then VLAN 1 port 1 is still on Vlan 50. So it cannot correspond. It cannot work. Okay, I'll see you on the other part of it, which is part 2 of this video. We haven't finished. There are more that we have. I'm expecting you to at least join FA 0/2. Then let's see how good you look and how good you are. Follow my video. Make sure that you subscribe and give me a thumb. If it's good, tell me on the comment sections. You can send me a comment. I'll be very much appreciated because your complaints are the textbooks that I learn from, and that makes me so powerful. If there is something that is not good, at least you can help me so that we can make it so we can make the class and the video great. Thank you very much for listening to the part 1. I'll see you on part 2.